Welcome back. Today we are going to practice a pose called Dragonfly, but we'll do it differently. We'll do a variation called half Dragonfly. And for this pose, you may need a blanket or a block. It's not necessary, but it may make it more accessible to you. So go ahead and get your props and then meet me back here to start the pose. Initially, what we're going to do is extend the leg straight, just like this. And it doesn't have to be wide, too wide apart from each other, but just enough, maybe a big V would be great. And if you find yourself rounding your back like this, it's always great to sit on the edge of a blanket. So you may want to put your blanket behind you and then just sit right on top of it so that the sitting bones are on the blanket and it helps you tilt the pelvis forward as opposed to rounding back this way. If you don't need a blanket, that's fine. You can just remove the blanket and then you can just put your block right in front of you. Now you're going to bend one of your knees, so go ahead and bend your left knee and keep the right leg straight. And then as you do this, place your hands right behind you and lift the chest open first. So as you inhale, draw the chest up to the sky so that you can elongate the spine. And then as you exhale, just come forward just a little bit and move through this a little bit at a time so that you can really allow the hip to open slightly and slowly. And then if you like to, then you can bring your hands to the front, and as you inhale, lift the chest open and walk your hands a little bit farther out. And then move through this a few more breaths so that when you feel like after 2 or 3 breaths that you can just find a place where you can rest. So wherever you are, it's perfect. You can be sitting all the way up or just come forward a little bit. And this is where the block might come in handy. So you can place your forearms on top of the block. Or if you're more flexible, you can move forward a little bit and then place your head right on top of the block. So find out where is the most comfortable for you today. If you're sitting up, it's perfect. If you're folding all the way over, it's perfect. But just take your awareness to your hip, specifically your left hip. And begin to notice on the superficial level what's going on in the inner thigh, on the outer hip, maybe even lower back. And then as you stay here for another couple of minutes, you may be able to go a little bit deeper to even the hip socket and really finding more pliability, more openness, more space in that left hip. Now your right leg can be completely effortless. So if your tendency is to really flex that foot, let that foot be completely relaxed. And then just as your awareness returns to the left hip, just begin to notice your breath as well. Just find your natural rhythm of your own breath. And with every yin practice, it's really good to observe that you don't want to necessarily go to your edge right away. So if you've gone a little bit farther and you feel like you need to back off a little bit, that's perfect. You don't really necessarily want to push it to the edge right away or go to the extreme stretch. Because really yin is about practicing and growing the patience to allow the body to take its time and to open up as it needs. And then there may be areas that don't want to open up, and that's fine. Be at peace with that. You don't really want to force the body to open up or force the body to look a certain way. We're so much about pushing the boundaries, and really in this yin practice, the best practice is to be able to just come into stillness and be like an observer, or almost like researcher, without analyzing or judging. Just taking notes of what's going on in that left hip, low back. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale all the air out, with your next inhalation, gently begin to come up. Walking your hands back. Then you can just extend both legs straight in front of you, putting your hands behind you. Just kind of move your feet side to side. Shake it a little bit. And then as you come forward, we're ready for the second side. So extend the legs out to a V once again. And this time bending the right knee. And see if you can bend it just like you did on the other side. So it's not too close to your body or too far away from it. Just like you did on the first side. Find that equilibrium. And as you inhale, putting your hands behind you, lift the chest open. As you exhale, begin to come forward a little bit. So we're moving through this a little at a time, as if you're trying to knock on the door and allow the door to open. Inhaling and exhaling. And then gently walking your hands forward. Take a deep breath in. Begin to walk your fingertips away from you. And do this 2 more times. And on the third exhalation, see wherever you are, if you can put your head on the block, or you can put your forearms on the block and pause. But wherever you are is just perfect for this moment. So once you come into this pose, really relax the shoulders. Have the intention to relax your forehead, your cheeks, even your tongue. Have the intention for your tongue to be relaxed, for your throat. The shoulders are moving away from your ears. Take a deep breath in. We're going to stay here for another couple of minutes. So just see that your hips are really in a neutral position. So even though the tendency is for the right hip to lift up, see if you can really allow the right hip to melt down closer to the earth. And initially you're going to feel the stretch maybe in the superficial muscles of the adductors and abductors, the inner thighs, the outer hip. And as you stay here a little bit longer, you may feel it deeper into the hip socket of the right hip. And really allow the left leg to be completely relaxed. So you're not flexing the foot, just letting the foot to be completely relaxed. The leg is completely relaxed. Return your awareness back to your breath. Really, these practice of yin is one of those practices that allow you to, as you become still in a pose, to find the connection with your own body. So many times as we do an active pose, or even if you're an athlete and running and bicycling, the tendency is to focus on the goal, where we want to go, what do we want to accomplish. And in this yin practice, there is no goal of accomplishing anything. The purpose, the intention is to just be completely effortless, letting your body open and relax. Exhaling all the air out. And then on the next inhalation, begin to lift your chest up. Go ahead and extend both legs straight out to the front. Leaning back a little bit, you can shake your legs side to side. Open and close your jaws. And then as you're ready, bend your knees. Bringing your hands to the heart center. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath through the nose. Exhaling all the air out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.